Welcome everybody to our intermediate mat flow. We're going to use our roller today, add it into our flow. Still working on, let's still work on some transitions. Let's still work on flowing from one thing to the next, but just adding in that foam roller along the way. We are going to start with some footwork and just laying back on your mat today. So as you get set up, go ahead and just make your way to the mat. I kind of like to take my roller underneath my legs and just roll down. And maybe since lifting the hips is a little bit of work, maybe we transition a little to get there. Just that like pelvic rock a few times before we just pop our hips up. Little tuck and arch with some breath, and then maybe you do that tuck and lift and pull that roller up underneath and give yourself that moment to kind of find your spot. Mine feels like it's across my sacrum, hips feel like they're nice and anchored. And then we're going to go into our footwork series here. Pilates V with the feet, knees are apart. You decide your arms. You can press them into the roller. You could put them behind your head and just let your head rest in your hands. Or you could do a teeny bit of hover your head, but still keep your neck long. You decide where you want to be. I think I'm going to let my head sit in my hands. All right, let's go for it. Pilates V with our feet. We're going to take that inhale and stretch our legs long. And then an exhale to come back in. All right, have that work all the way out through the soles of our feet. And then pull it back in. Starting to get that breath matching our movement as we go out and in. Let's shoot for about 5 of them. When those legs go out, maybe those heads press back into your mat or into your hands that little bit more. One more time. Remember, it's your working level. Out and back in. Birds on a perch position. Legs are squeezing together. So I want you to feel your inner thighs on there. My morning class this morning, we had, I was teasing them. I said it was International Feel Your Inner Thighs Day. They thought that was funny, that press out. We won't have that whole day, but thinking about inner thighs squeezing in and reaching, right? So even as we're going out and in, we kind of have that inner thigh awareness and that press and come back in. Let's flex our feet on the next one. Spread our toes and press out and come back in. Just finding your rhythm, that reach and coming in, and maybe noticing like your leg position as you go out. Like, where's your place where you can keep your back nice and anchored, not feel like you want to arch or move. Oh, let's get 2 more of those. Press them out, pull them back in. Just keep that steady rhythm with your breath. Out and back in. And then let's do our tendon stretch. It's your working level place. As you hold your legs straight, point your feet, flex your feet, watching them in this position, kind of nice. You can just kind of watch that articulation. I don't know, something for me about watching, it always helps me get a little more movement. One more time, point and flex. And then just give those legs a hug in. Give yourself a little hug in, stretch your back moment, feet to the floor. Transition by lifting your hips up, rolling your back down to the mat. Let's just grab our rollers. We're going to go right to our 100. Play with your legs over your hips position. Fine if that's bent. Straight is great too. I love a little flex of my feet. I'm holding my roller and then I'm going to pump. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5 and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. It is fine to leave your head down as you're pumping or to come up in your rib curl wherever you're working today. Inhaling for 5 and exhaling. If you're like me and you're flexing those feet, you might feel that nice big stretch in your calves and backs of legs. Right? Try to have that energy, pushing your heels up toward the ceiling as we're pumping and breathing. Inhaling for 5 and exhaling for 5. Let's get 2 more breaths in. Remember, check in with your neck every once in a while. Do you have a little ease there? So easy to want to overreach, overstretch it forward. And then just roll down to the mat. Let's just pass our roller to our hands. We're going right into our roll up. We have our arms overhead. We're gently pressing in. So we get it's like the magic circle where you press in and pull your shoulder blades down and then curl up. Inhale halfway, exhale, stretch forward. Take your time on those first ones, especially, right? Allow yourself that time to kind of work through your spots as you roll up and down. Always it's your roll up, right? So if you need to bend knees, if you need to hook your feet a little bit, you know what you have to do to kind of do your best roll up. Do that thing and then curl to come back down. All right, everyone, we just continue to get a little more of that stretch and move through our back. Kind of appreciate on the way down how our back gets a little massage as it kind of presses into that mat. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, part way. Exhale, that stretch up and over. Inhale to roll down shoulder blades. Check in on the way down and make your way all the way down. One more time. We got that roll up and over. Our best one. Maybe you want to hold that stretchy moment a little extra. And then rolling down, and then we get to start thinking about a little rollover, which is always so fabulous with our roller. We're gonna put it under our hips, I think anyway. Okay, let's do that pelvic tuck, lift our hips, pull the roller back underneath that sacrum again. Here's our little transition. Pick those legs up in space, squeeze them together, find those inner thighs. Let's start with our hips down rollover. So you're reaching out to your challenge place. These are our like stretch our back one, stretch our hamstrings. Legs pull towards you, but keep your back connected. Just play. How far back can you go? Open, circle the legs, squeeze them together. We'll do some nice flowy ones. Inhale, exhale, open, circle and reach. Pull them back. Feel that stretch. Feel that core work as those legs reach. Let's reverse. Open, pull them towards you, squeeze them together, reach them back out. All right, that open. Just to that place where you're still nice and connected. For me, that's that low back stretch, which always feels good in that I'm working for it kind of way. All right, then of course you can always stick with those, or you can play with that full rollover where you're going to, I kind of like hands on my roller on this one. Legs together, lift your hips, reach over, maybe tap those feet down, open legs, flex your feet, find your roller on the way down. And then hug those legs together. Inhaling as you lift, reach, open. Feel that stretch in the back of those legs as you control your way down. We're gonna do 3 each. One more on there. Notice your breath. Are you breathing like as you're doing it? It's so easy to want to hold your breath on this one. Open the legs to reverse it. So you start open, you lift your hips, peel off of there, hug the legs together, flex your feet. And again, that whole backside stretch as you make your way down. Inhaling, lift, reach over. I like to check in with my neck anytime we're doing this, like lift our legs overhead. Head is kind of pressing in, no extra tension, no compressing. Legs come over. This is our last one. We're gonna roll down. Let's go right to a little one leg circle. Take your left leg down to the mat. You can have your leg bent or you could stretch it out. I try to go as straight as I can and get this hip stretch. Let's do stability circles today, where you're gonna go across, down and run, and try to keep your hips still. Maybe you're like me and like to hold them. Reach, circle, and come around. Inhale, exhale as you circle. Keep pressing through that left heel. And one more time, there, your working level, how big you go. And then you could reverse and go the other way to the outside, and then that circle down and around. Right? I like to play with like, where's that range where it's a challenge, but I'm still keeping pretty darn stable in my hips. Feels like lots of core work, lots of reach and lengthen through that leg. We got 2 more, reach, circle and around. One more time. Fancy little scissor kick to switch out legs. And let's do the other side. Point the left foot, turn out the leg, do a little check in, right leg is anchored, and then you can go across, down and around, back up. Inhale and exhale as you circle. That just reaching, lengthening, circling your leg and your hip field. 2 more. Always we got that core work, pulling our deep abdominal muscles in. And then let's reverse to that outside and then circle the leg down and around. Reach, circling, come around. The further the leg goes, the more those abdominal muscles have to pull in and reach and circle. One more. And then we're going to bring that foot down to the mat. Do a little bridge to lift up, push your roller out, slowly roll down. Just give yourself a little push the roller out. See if you can roll up right up to the front of your mat. We're going to head right into a little rolling like a ball with our roller. It's right there. We're going to just see if we can use it. Hold the sides of the roller, feet together. And then a little bit of this like pull in. In fact, while we're here, can we just hold our balance? This feels like a hamstring curl, like pull in and release. My hip flexors are working too, just to hold there because you don't get to hold them up. Pull in, and then see if you can just pull in a little, right? It's like a little hamstring curl. And then can you rock back and forth? Ooh, extra fun. Inhale and exhale, right? You may feel like, oh, I gotta lift my legs to do that rock. That's okay. Maybe you start with that. And then as you go, you use less and less of the lift your legs and keep trying to pull into the roller as you rock back and forth. Usually they get better the more we do of them, right? Let's do like 2 more there. Inhale back and exhale to come back up. Awesome. Okay, set your roller down. We're going to do some fun variations on our stomach series today, starting with a little one leg stretch where we're going to have our tips of our shoulder blades on our roller. Let's have our hands behind our head. Right foot's going to stay down. Left leg's going to be at our kind of tabletop to start with. As you inhale, stretch long, reach your leg out, give your head like a little pull, a little traction, and then exhale, curl to come back up. We're gonna make those nice and flowy. Inhale, reach, exhale to curl it back up. You're just going as far as it feels okay in your body. And if you like a big arch over, great. If you just want to come more like level, that's fine too. Curl it up. Let's do one more like that. Hand up. Let's start adding a twist. We extend, curl up and rotate. I almost went the wrong way. And then extend, elbow to knee. So I'm doing right elbow to left knee. And extend, curl up and twist. And extend. And we get that twist. And you're kind of looking back over at that roller. When you come up, one more. Come back to center. Just do a quick switch. Right to tabletop, other leg. Straight out. Extend your body long. Curl back up. We are getting that kind of flowy movement through our spine, nice and controlled. Core work the entire time. I like to think every time I reach out, like I stretch the front of my hip, I get a little longer, and then pull it back in one more time before we add those twists. All right, next one, we're gonna add that rotate left knee to right, or I said that wrong, left elbow to right knee, you guys know, right? Twist. Extend, and that curl and the rotate, maybe feeling your back, just kind of twist and turn on that roller, reach and twist. One more, and twist, and then land those feet. Come off of your roller, put it under your legs, do a nice little roll yourself down to the mat. We're doing a bridge to get our hips up on there. We'll do our pelvic tuck. Peel ourselves up, pull that roller underneath, and then we're going to take our legs up. We're going to do a few variations of scissors because I have a few favorites on here. Legs up to the ceiling, lots of energy through those feet. Let's start with just some regular scissors. Inhale, reach, reach. Exhale, reach, reach. Feel that core work to stabilize your back and then play with your ranges. Man, I love like that, holding this top leg and then making my bottom leg like try to reach a little further, which for me always feels like butt, back of leg, but it also feels like a really good stretch in the front of my hip. Also feels like a ton of core work. Reach, reach, warning. Okay, legs up top, helicopter version, flex your feet. We're gonna get our bonus stretch on this one. Scissor, scissor, open, half circle around. Scissor, scissor, open half circle. You decide where you want your hands. If you like to hold like your rib cage, hips, sometimes that's nice. You just want them on the roller. Reach, reach, open, keeping core muscles pulled in to support those legs, and circle. Let's do one more. Scissor, scissor, open and circle. Okay, one more version of scissors. We did 3 today. Here it is. I think we've done this before in here. I'm going to split the legs. I want to give you because this feels hard to me, right? My leg is low. I'm in a big split. My ab muscles are working like crazy to hold up here. If it feels like a little much, just support yourself by hanging on to the back of this leg. What I want to do is I want to let go in my stomach muscles. You might even push your stomach out and let your pelvis tip away. And then see if you can, don't use your leg muscles, use your stomach muscles to lift your leg up. So this will feel a little more supportive. You want to try it there first. And of course, if you want that challenge, maybe you want your hands here. So I'm tipping away, it feels like I'm arching my low back. And then I'm pulling my stomach muscles in to tuck my pelvis and lift. Shoot for 5 of them. I think we have like maybe 2 more on there. Right, do your version. If this is helpful to hang on, definitely hang on. This is a hard one. And then take a little rest before you switch. So try it on the other side. And again, this can be a nice, like, feels a little bit more, still super hard, but a little more supportive, right? So get there, ab work to hold your pelvis in place, and then let go with your stomach muscles, feel your pelvis tip away, and then pull your stomach muscles in to come back. Right, we tip away. I can feel my sacrum kind of rock on the roller when I do this, which, hey, there's our bonus, like you get a little massage in your sacrum while we're doing all of this, what feels like low ab work to me, right? That tip away, support that leg if you need, pull it back one more time. And back, oh good, okay, give yourself a little rest because those are hard. Those legs in, double leg, lower lift. Legs are to the ceiling. Sometimes I gotta rearrange my roller. If you want your hands behind the head, you could leave your head down or do that little hover. Wherever you're at, give yourself a little traction in your neck. As you inhale, you're gonna lower your legs. Keep your back stable and your hips. So we don't want the tip away with our pelvis now. And then we come back, right? You're kind of going, how far can I lower the legs without feeling like I do that little arch in my low back? Inhale, lower, lower, lower. Maybe you pause in that in range to appreciate it. And then bring it back. One more time, lower down, appreciate moment. And then bring it back up. Set your head back down. Favorite, if you had it up, favorite spot here for some bicycles, reach out. So definitely ab work as well, but sometimes that just nice little quad stretch feels good on here. After all of that, we'll cycle, and then reverse. Dip your toe down and press out. Always your working level. Bigger cycles is gonna feel like more core work to stabilize your back. Good. And then one last, just hug your legs in. Maybe you want to rock a little side to side, anything that feels good. I love just that like kind of child's pose where I just hug my legs in and let my hips rest a little on that whatever this is, roller. And then bring those feet down. Let's do lift our hips to come up, push your roller out of the way, curl down, do a little roll up. Maybe play with just kind of pushing that roller out. And then let's do some spine stretch. Let's sit up on our rollers. Oh, and since it's the roller, we're going to throw in a little like roll over your sitting bone. Lean over onto one butt, roll over that sitting bone a little bit back and forth. Give it a little massage. And then take the roller just to the front of your sitting bone. That's that hamstring, like close to where it attaches. Play with. For me, I just have to lean forward like a little bit and I feel that like hamstring. And then sometimes I'll like roll a little bit. Sometimes I will just hold there, just depends on the day. I play with it a little bit. Sometimes like my leg is a little soft. So if I straighten it while I'm pressing into that hamstring, that gives it a little more. And then try it on that other side. You can start by just rolling over your sitting bone. Kind of find it and feel the roller go back and forth over it. And then take the roller in front of your sitting bone and then kind of explore like leaning a little forward with your body to put that pressure. And then you could roll side to side. Remember, do your thing. Like maybe you're just holding still. Maybe it's enough just to kind of be there. If your leg is bent, straightening it a little bit when you're in that lean will definitely feel like a little more pressure. It tightens up that muscle. And then come back. Okay, spine stretch. I had to sneak in the good stuff. Flex your feet, be up on those sitting bones. Sometimes it takes me a little maneuvering to find them on that roller. Arms can come out in front. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, crawl forward. Let your hands reach to the mat. Still keep those arms straight and stiff and just curl into that stretch. Second, third exhale at the bottom. As you inhale, drag your fingers on the mat a little bit as you roll up and stack tall and get that curl through your back. Stretch. Inhaling as you roll yourself tall. Let's do 2 more. Notice your ankles and feet. Are they really flexed as you curl forward? If you can really find that, it'll give you a little extra stretching and lengthening through the backs of those legs. Let's do 1 more. Curl forward into that reach. Let's stay on this one. So if you like your hands, sometimes I'll leave mine out in front in this position. Sometimes I will take them to my legs. Although sometimes that makes me feel like I'm going to roll off my roller. Warning. Maybe you want to shift a little side to side. And then just roll yourself up nice and tall. Now, carefully come off your roller. Let's try some open leg rocker with our roller. We are going to put it in between our ankles and legs or feet. Everybody's a little different. So play with it and see what works for you on this. I'm going to move up a little and see if I can play with that transition. So squeeze in. Usually mine ends up being a little more on my feet. And feel how that, kind of like the magic circle does for our shoulder blades staying active, this roller there kind of activates our inner thighs. Start and do a little curl. Let's actually just like, could we leave our roller there and just like curl halfway back? Don't lift your legs yet. And then curl forward and come back up. Just play with that piece of it where you're just kind of feeling, well, I'm feeling my inner thighs. Hopefully you guys are too, right? Curl and then come back and then play with your transition. You may need to bend knees on this, curling back. In fact, I feel like that bent knee is kind of nice with that roller. And then see if you can come up and just find that open leg rocker position. Once you get there, fine tune, lift a little more, pull your shoulders down, play with that gentle inner thigh hug in, then just rock. Play with it, inhale to rock back, exhale to rock forward. Remember, there's always those little fine-tuned moments at the top where you can like refine your lift, your center work. And it doesn't matter like how much you think you're keeping it. You can always, I promise, like get a little better each time. Let's do like 2 more, just so we can play with that a little bit. And back up 1 more time. Remember that breath, always helpful on these rolling things. Good. And then just bend your legs, take your roller out. We're going to play some corkscrew on there. To get there, a little transition moment, legs together, rollers under your legs, just slowly roll back. Do a little bridge to lift your hips, come up, slide your roller underneath, and then legs to the ceiling. So our first corkscrews, I want you to keep your hips down. I want you to super glue those inner thighs together, feel them. And I want you to think of primarily just moving your pelvis versus swinging your legs around. Almost like your legs were holding still, but they won't, right? So I'm going to do a pelvic circle. I'm going to start by leaning to my right hip. I'm going to tip my pelvis away from me, still keep those abs engaged. Shift to my left hip, and then I'm going to do a pelvic tuck where it feels like I'm lifting my sitting bones. And then I'm going to just tie that all together. And you'll notice my legs are totally moving because they're just going with my pelvis, right? If I'm kind of just squeezing them together and they're holding over my hips, they're going to move with me. Let's switch directions on each one. Go to the left, tip away. Just kind of explore that a little bit, that feeling. I always think it feels good on the roller work, but it feels good to get the like kind of massage on your sacrum as you do those circles and come around. Let's do 1 more like that, right? And remember, I don't want you yet to do a big reach through your legs. Now, when you get to your next one, if you want to start exploring, you're like, oh, I could go further. Energize those legs, squeeze them together, reach out through your tippy toes, then start playing with, ooh, how much can I reach as I do that circle, right? That's going to up that like ab work and that work just in general. Reach makes me feel like my butt and my back and my legs more, especially on the, I'm going to call it the bottom of the circle right there. When you're in line with your body, it's like the hard place. Just alternating each time. Go to that left, circle down and around, and come back. And then let's take 1 more variation today. Let's play with your version of hip lift. So I want us to start with a circle. Let's take our legs to the right and circle down around. Now you decide when you come up the left. Maybe you just lift a little, maybe you come all the way up, and then you come down on the left and circle. And again, maybe you just lift, maybe just try to lift, even though if it doesn't feel like if it's lifting, and then circle. Play with that a few times. The roller can be really great for learning and kind of progressing into that more advanced corkscrew because it already has our hips lifted a little bit. Oh, let's do like one more in each direction and just your version. Reach to the right, circle, lift. Definitely you're pressing with those arms. I don't think that you should do corkscrew without your arms pressing in and like feeling your upper back. You can just roll through your center whenever you get done there. Bring those feet down to the mat. Do a little pelvic tuck, lift your hips, push the roller out, and then just curl down. Do that fancy little roll up where you try to curl up and kind of push that roller up. And then let's get some saw in. We'll come back and just sit on our rollers. Open our feet up nice and wide. Flex them. Maybe you want to do a little wiggle and find your sitting bones again because it kind of feels good. Arms, we have that big wingspan. Our shoulder blades are hugging a little bit around our spine, which feels like we're sticking our chest out, right? That's okay. Should feel like some work in that upper back. Big inhale, exhale, twist, curl forward, get that reach, reach, reach. And then an inhale to lift center. Exhale, rotate, curl forward into that reach, reach, reach. Use your roller for your sitting bone awareness, right? When you're in this full twist here, can you pull that opposite hip back a little bit more? And then roll up. And the answer is almost always yes. Like even when I think I've kept it over there, I get there and I can always kind of pull it back a little bit more. So give yourself that moment. We're gonna do one more on each side. Twist, curl down, kind of take your time and be like, ooh, can I shift back into that opposite sitting mode? And then stack back up. Last one, rotate, curl, bring out that breath, makes those abs work even more, and come center. And then relax those arms. Let's turn over and head into a little swan. Oh, I love swan on our roller. We are gonna have that roller out in front of us. Oh, we're gonna take our arms and at least shoulder width. I usually like to go wider than my shoulders. Helps me kind of not feel like I'm gonna scrunch my shoulders up by my ears. Palms are gonna face in. Let's all find like this hover position where we're facing the mat. Our shoulder blades are kind of anchored. Active legs, pelvic tuck, you're picking up your legs, you're like holding them here, thinking it's a lot of work while I'm talking to you. That's a good thing, little endurance work. Okay, while we're holding here, I want you to just do like a puppet arms kind of action where you're gonna lift your shoulders and see how far you can push the roller away from you, and then pull your shoulder blades down and anchor. Inhale, like how much glide can you get in those shoulder blades up and down? And man, our lower half is working. Our abs are working to pull our stomach up and in. Butt and hamstrings are working. Just to hold there. All right, on your next one, you're gonna do the same lift. And then as you pull the shoulder blades back in place, just go right into your swan. First one. I want you to add that little moment in every time at the bottom of your swan. So you're gonna roll down, push the roller away, let your shoulders lift, and then pull your shoulders down to initiate that coming up. All right, now don't forget about the lower half of us. When you come up into your swan, in your mind, when you see yourself doing swan, you're gonna think that your legs, your feet are as high as your head. They are lifting that much, even though they're not, right? And then come down and lift shoulders up. Let's do one more. Remember those legs. In your mind, they are as high up as your head. And then come back down. Good, okay, we're throwing in a bonus swan today, because this is another of my favorites. You're gonna just pull the roller towards you. Set the top of your thighs on there. Take your hands out in front. And this is work already. And if I let it, I could just hang out my low back. But of course, we don't want that. It will not feel good. Legs together or a little space is fine. I have my hands out here in front of me. I'm going to find that, connect my shoulders. I'm going to kind of pull myself. A little momentum's okay on here. And see if I can come up into my swan and press back. So the bonus is your thighs get a roll, right? Can you roll up, lift, Now, in my head, I'm thinking about my legs lifting, but they sure don't feel like they're doing anything. They're going anywhere. But I'm thinking about it as I roll up and down. Do one more. One more roll up, checking on those shoulders, and then press back. Come up to all fours. Drop your head, round your low back so you start to feel that low back stretch. Push back like a third of the way of your full range. See if you can just hold it in that place. It gives you a little stretch. And then coming back. I want you guys to come, since we're right here, we're gonna take our knees, well, not our knees, our shins. We're gonna try our shins on the roller. If you have a super hard roller and you hate this, then you get to skip it. Hands under your shoulders. I want you to drop your head and round your back. Think cat. Push away. Don't overly worry about your shoulders here. Think that you are using your ab muscles to lift your shins off that roller, and then pull the legs towards your chest and back out. Shoot for 5 of those. Keep pushing the mat away, getting that round back. The more you use your abs, the more it like doesn't push your shins in. So it's good motivation. And then come back. And then take a little stretch moment. If you want to push back into anything that feels good, you can definitely do that. We're going to get a little one leg kicks, double leg kick in. Let's take our roller out in front of us. Let's set up just like we did for swan. Rotate our palms to face each other. Legs on this one, see if you can start with them hugged together as much as you can. They're not perfectly together, it's fine, but you're going to try to make those inner thighs work and hug them in. And then find that, pull your shoulder blades down. We're gonna think today that we're coming up into what I'm gonna call half a swan. I want you to only rise up what feels like halfway. And then once you get there, I want you to pull the roller towards you 1 to 2 inches. I like to readjust my hands when I get there. So I'm in my low swan. Feels like a lot of work just to hold here. My legs are picked up. Now we do our kicks. Inhale, kick, kick, exhale, kick. Kick, inhale, kick, kick, exhale, kick, kick. Remember when you kick in, you got to lift the thigh and lift the thigh. In fact, pause for a moment, bend your right leg to 90 degrees. Do a lift and lower for me. 5 times, lift, lower, lift. Feel how much your thigh can lift off that mat. Lift, lower, switch. Stay lifted if you can. Lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower. 2 more. Lift, lower. 1 more time. Now we're going back to that one leg kick. Give yourself a stretch out moment because that's a lot of time to hold up there. But I want you to come back. We just did those. Lift your thighs. We're doing 3 more in each. When you come in, try to lift your thigh more. Get that kick, kick. Feel or kind of envision in your head that lifting that's happening when you kick in. So we kind of got 2 things going on at once. 1 more in each. And then just push to come back down. Take the roller behind you. We're going to head right into our double leg kick. Hands are on our back. We're hovering our face a little bit, or if you love to turn it to the side, that's fine. Hold the roller. Take a big inhale. Remember those kicks are just like the last ones we did. Your thighs should be lifting. And then you're going to come up and lift the roller up. Exhale to come back down. When you kick, lift your thighs. And then that coming up, up, up. How much can we lift our roller? Exhale to come down and kick, kick, kick. Inhale as we lift. Exhale. We're going to do 3 kicks. We have a bonus on this one. I want you to come up and hold. Definitely keep breathing, right? We're lifted. We're holding here. Take your roller and can you lift, lower, tap it on your butt, lift or wherever it hits. Lower, lift, and then roll to come back down. All right. Shift back. Your favorite, stretch your back. If you love that little cat, maybe push back. That's my favorite lately. Press back just like a third of the way to really get that low back stretch. Maybe you love a child's pose, more of a flat back, or any wiggling around on there you want to do. And then let's turn ourselves over. Let's get a little neck pull in, holding our roller today. Yeah, let's hold our roller. I had a moment where I was like, oh, maybe we want to do it between our legs. So I think we'll hold it today. You decide. Arms up by your ears is going to feel like the hardest version. Arms a little lower is going to feel slightly easier, but still a challenge. Okay, so 2 hinges to start us off with. Find your length. Find that like reaching. Hold your back nice and kind of stiff and flat. Feel your neck even grow longer as you do that little hinge and back. And then you're going to do the full sequence. We're going to hinge, tuck our pelvis, round out our low back, and curl down. And then the fun part where you come up. Now, keeping your arms by your ears will feel harder. If you need a little, like, reach the roller out in front of you, that will be slightly nicer, helpful as you come over. And then roll up, lead with your roller as you hinge down. Curl when you need to, and roll back down to that mat. Inhale, part way. Exhale, that stretch up and over. And then as you roll up that roller, it's like it just lifts you up. Tuck your pelvis, curl through your back, and roll it back down. Let's get one more. Inhale, part way. Exhale, that stretch up and over. Inhale to roll ourselves up. Get that little bit taller. It's our last one. And curl down. Stay there. We're going to do a little bridging. Let's turn our rollers. We're going to do the one leg, I don't know, 1 foot on the roller bridges. So I have my roller the long way. I'm going to set my left foot on there first. I like to just pull it back toward me as much as I possibly can get that foot underneath my knee. Feet and knees about hip width-ish apart. Arms are pressing in, maybe like a little wider. Right, let's start with just a little bridge here. Pelvic tuck, peel up. Take your time, so it's, kind of a new thing. Explore that top range. Maybe you can push in a little more, lift the hips, and then get that roll back down. And on this one, I like to kind of play with just like staying as even as I can, even though like one foot's got a roller and the other doesn't, right? Can we still kind of keep our body squared away and our hips fairly level, which will give you that nice stretch through that front of the hip, top of the thigh. All right, we have one more. We're going to do a bonus. This is our like stay at the top one. Get yourself ready. We're going to peel up. I like a little moment to like, I don't know, wiggle my shoulders under me, really lift my hips. Now I'm going to float my right leg up just an inch for a second. Just hold it. And then I'm going to do a knee fold. I'm going to bend it in toward my chest and slowly come down because I want you to push your foot into the mat and lift a little higher. Right, that moment where we can always lift higher. Bend in, press it down, lift a little higher. We got one more. I know we're doing them slow. That's on purpose. Hold there. Keep your hips lifted. Slowly roll it down. As much of that curl through your back as you can when you come down. And then push that roller over. We'll do it all on the other side. We got that roller pulling back toward us. We're stomping down on it. We're pressing our arms in. Pelvic tuck. Push down through those legs. Remember those tap moments. Just stay there. Like, it's not like you're just holding it. It's just like you're like, ooh, you get there and you see, could I go just a little further? A little fine tuning. It's the good part. Pelvic tuck, roll up. Those arms are pressing in. Our knees are kind of reaching forward to stretch our thighs. Roll it back down. Okay, then we have our bonus one, the extra fun one. Take your time on it. Roll up. Get there and do any wiggles you need to get strong in that bridge. How high up can we get our hips? And then can we just float the leg up for a moment? Oh, that's fun. And then bend your leg in. When you come down, we're doing it slow. You're going to land your foot completely and lift your hips up a little more. Bend it in, land your foot, press through both legs to get the lift. One more time, press it down, get your lift, and then roll back down. Curl through your back and land your hips. Awesome, guys. Let's roll up to sitting. Let's put, we're going to sit and get a little spine twist in. So let's sit on our rollers. Come back to just kind of a little wiggle there. Legs together, feet flexed. Arms are out to the side, super strong. Lock those shoulder blades in. Inhale, center. Exhale, we get our twist, twist, twist. Inhale to come back center. Exhale, that rotate, rotate, and rotate. That lifting up off your sitting bones. And twist, twist, and twist. Inhale, back center, and twist, twist, twist. Let's do one more on each side. Dig your heels in a little bit and see if that lifts you up more. Last one, twist, 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 and then making your way center. Let's go into a little side leg. We're just going to do a short little series. I am going to throw my roller in. If you hate this, then, just do your regular side legs. But sometimes I do like it I'll kind of play around where I put mine. I'll kind of put it like under almost my armpit, like this top of my ribs up in here. And I like to have it there and then think of like, you don't want to just hang out there. You want to stay lifted off of it the whole time. It's a little higher angle than I normally do, so it might be for you too. And you could have your hand back here on your hip, on your roller, you decide. Top leg at hip height, and then let's do some sweeps. Flex, kick, and point, reach, and flex, kick, and point, reach. Everybody freeze here. I want you to check in. Could you push your leg back further, and could you roll your top hip forward at the same time and get a little more stretch and length? And then let's do that again. Flex, kick. When we get back here, play with that moment, right? Usually we have a little bit more range than we think. I mean, ideally, you don't want your hip to move. But when you go back, if you think about rolling the hip forward, it'll hold it in place and get a little more reach. Okay, let's bring the leg back over top the bottom leg. Let's do a little Pilates Mat here. Externally rotate. Let's do our point up, flex back down. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Keep those hips stacked today. I know we played around a little bit with that hip hike moment, but we're gonna keep them stacked. And then let's reverse, flex up, point down, lift, and lower. Hips stay in just kind of that super picky stacked lift and lower. And then we're going to get a little ronde jambe, leg at hip height. Make sure that bottom foot is anchored. Sweep forward, lift, reach behind you. Remember that moment we did on our sweep? Do it here too. Like get back there and can you almost like roll your hip forward and reach through that glute and get like just that little extra, which also feels hard, feels like it's about gonna tip you over, that reach and go behind and then reverse it. So we kind of start with the hard moment, butt engaged, hip almost rolls forward to get that back reach. And then we lift. And man, that lift is always it's harder than to get the leg back there. Reach, reach, reach. And then that lift to come up and over. Let's get one more. Reach. And then get that lift and up and over. Okay, let's come down. Let's lay on our bottom arm and play with maybe just holding our roller today. This will be a super challenge to have both arms overhead. But let's just see if we can kind of find that length. Ooh, wobbly already, right? So as we get there, it's meant to be. Squeeze in a little bit with your shoulders. Let them lift up. Like don't be overly worried about jamming them down in this position, but squeeze the roller. Top leg lifts. It lengthens, bottom leg's gonna lift and lower, lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, hold them both, lower and lift. Lots of length on here. I'm thinking about reaching more than I am the lift because that helps me stay in my center or somewhat. And then lift the legs up, try those little baby walks, inner thighs hugging in, squeezing in tight, and then try some bigger ones. And again, think length, don't worry how big they are. It's like your legs are moving and you're reaching longer toward the wall. One more in each. And then just bring those legs together. Let's just get a little traditional grasshopper in. You can have your hands in your favorite spot. Under your forehead, under your hip bones. Pilates V, heels together, toes apart. Lift the legs up and do those little taps with your heels for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Everybody bend your legs, let your knees open. Do a set of 5 lifts. 1, 2, knees lift. 3, thighs lift. 4, 5, straighten your legs again. Get that same lift. One more set of tap of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lower and back down. And then we get to switch and do all the fun stuff on the other side. And again, if you like the roller, use it. If not, just you can do regular side legs always. Doing your version, always fine. All right, so get your setup wherever you want to be today. Let's start with some sweeps. I do want you to have maybe just that little moment of when you go back, maybe you stay there and you see like, oh, could I go just a little further? I like to hold my hips so I know to get my leg back further, I have to feel like I'm rolling my hip forward, even though if you were to look at it, it kind of looks like it's holding still, but it feels like I'm trying to tip it forward. Kick, kick, and reach, reach. Let's do one more. Flex, kick, and point, reach. Let's get a little bottom on. Externally rotate the leg. We'll do our lift and lower, just to where you can keep your hips stacked. For me, when I'm up like this on the roller, that's a smaller range. I cannot lift my leg as high as if I was down on the mat. Lift and lower and still keep my hips stacked. Let's reverse, flex your foot, lift and lower, lift and lower. Reach through your heel, point to come down. One more time, lift and lower. All right, rond de jambes. We're thinking about that place again, right? When we go behind, we're gonna lift, we're gonna reach. We might even pause there and think about that hip rolling forward and come forward. So we get to like soak in that super hard, but good for us moment. Sweep forward, lift, press it behind. One more time. Don't forget to breathe throughout all of that. Oh, and then we got to reverse. We're going to go behind first, really get the hip kind of rolling forward, and then the lift, right? And that lift, for me, I have to remind myself, core first, right? Core tight is going to stabilize your back, so you have kind of a place to lift your leg from. I mean, it's definitely leg work too, but reach. Last one. Up and over. Let's take that leg, or take the roller out overhead. We'll play with our little side ones. Do your check, make sure your feet are behind. I usually just know because I wiggle all over when I get into that spot. Remember, we're not worrying about our shoulders here. So if they're lifted, that's fine. Squeeze them in, use those muscles to anchor you in place. Reach through your legs, float that top leg up. Bottom leg does a lift and lower, or a reach and lower. It's like as you move the leg, you get a little longer even through your waist. Hold them together, do them both. Lower, lift, lower, lift, lower, lift. Let's hold them and do some little walks. Tighten our thighs. We're stretching longer from our head to our toes. And then play with those scissor kicks that are bigger, that almost knock you over. Reach. Let's do one more in each. And then a little rest moment. Whew, okay, since we have our rollers, use your roller to roll out your hips today. We'll sit on them. It's my favorite way, but if you have something else you love, you could always do that. Just sit on the roller, lean over. I like to find my sitting bone and kind of roll from my sitting bone up through my glute to like the top of my hip bone, and then anywhere and everywhere in between. So you can do kind of side to side. You can just go back and forth. Surely you'll find a spot or two where you might want to stay or work through a little bit as you're there. And then transition through the center and give yourself a little sacrum scrub. So just a little back and forth in the center. And then shift over and just do the other side. So you're exploring taking your roller through those glute muscles. Maybe you turn in. Again, no right or wrong. Massagey work. Designed to kind of release there and hopefully feel good. Oh, we gotta get our teasers in next. Okay, let's do some teasers. Let's hold our rollers. Start with them out here in front of us, shoulders anchored, legs are reaching. Find that zip of your inner thighs before you start. We're just gonna see if we can start doing our curl back, and then you decide if you wanna bend your legs or if you wanna float your legs up straight and find that teaser. While we're here, can we lower and tap our legs with our roller and lift our arms up? Lower down and lift, one more. And then hold your roller in a spot. Roll your back down, keep your legs in the same spot, and then curl back up. Shoot for two of those. If you want to go part way, or if you want to go all the way down and back up, you decide. Hand up, and then let's do 3 full teasers. If you want to take your legs low, go for it. If you want to bend those legs in, that's always fine too. Maybe have this like stretch long moment at the bottom, and then curl up. Tap your roller on your legs at the top, just for a little bonus fun. Curl down. We have rolling up, curling up, little tap moment. See how that makes you lift your legs a little more. I would have not lifted mine that far if I wasn't gonna have to touch my roller to it. Last one, tap, and then roll down. Remember, that bend of your legs in is always fine. as you're coming back down. All right, let's set those rollers to the side. Oh, actually don't set them to the side. Flip over, let's get swimming in. One of my favorite swimming exercises with that roller. Palms face in, be on the kind of sides of your arms there. We're gonna just kind of, I like to start my swim so I can coordinate it all. As I inhale, I'm gonna roll up, pull the roller toward me. And then exhale, I'm gonna roll down, and I'm kind of swimming my legs the whole time. You might think come up 2, 3, 4, 5, and then roll down 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do 2 more breaths. Inhaling as we're swimming up, and exhaling as we're swimming down. Make sure those legs are nice and straight, and that you're really trying to get that thigh lift as you roll up and come back down. Awesome. Okay, everybody pop up. Give yourself just a quick little stretch your back moment. We are going to set rollers to the side, just sneaking some boomerang and some seal today. Front of your mat, cross those ankles. Be in that turnout with those legs and hug those inner thighs together. Nice flowy ones. We're going to curl back, float the legs. Switch the cross at the ankles, roll up, have a little pause movement. Swim the arms back, maybe a grab them, maybe just reach. Come up and over, arms come by ears, and we stack back up, curl back, levitate by reaching through those legs, switch the cross, roll up, have your teaser moment, swim the arms, lift them up for your stretch, arms by ears, stack it up. We're gonna do one more fast one as you reach, kind of taking away any of that momentum, switch the cross, roll up, we get our best teaser moment yet, swing those arms around. Get your stretch. We're stacking up right into seal. Pull those legs in, grab your ankles. 3 claps. 1, 2, 3. Rock back. Maybe you're practicing those claps on your shoulders. Trying to hold your rounded shape. Get that breath. Come back to just that massaging your back into the mat as you rock back and forth. One more. And back up. Let's come up to standing. Let's end today with our Pilates push-up. Regrouping a little bit, let's come to that standing tall Pilates V with your feet. Maybe have a little moment where you like rotate those heels into each other so much you kind of just feel it like right up through your center. Arms reach overhead. You're gonna curl down toward the floor, feeling your back all nice and bendy and stretchy. And then walk yourself out. And maybe just hold for a moment in that plank position. In fact, today, let's add in just a little rock forward. Point your feet, rock forward, flex, right? There's that leg pull exercise. Point and slide forward, flex to come back. One more. And then if you're feeling it, you could take 3 of your Pilates push-ups as you bend and straighten, keeping your plank-like shape that whole time. And then when you're ready to come in, push the floor away, walk back in. As you come up, kind of reconnect from those heels up. So you rotate the heels and feel that zip up through your inner thighs as you stack up. And just circle those arms to come all the way back around. And then we are all done. Thank you for joining me.